Right now, we're going to take a look at how you can start accepting credit card payments through your own WordPress website using our new plugin, WP Stripe Payments. Now, if you're not familiar with Stripe, this is one of the most convenient ways to accept payments through your own website. It's reliable, it's trusted. Some of the biggest sites on the web, from Kickstarter to Twitter to Pinterest, they're all using this as their payment processor. And the great thing about Stripe is that it's not limited to these big guys, so you can actually use this on your own website. And our plugin makes it extremely simple to get set up. So all you have to do is install this plugin, create a free Stripe account, and then you're good to go and you can start selling whatever you want through your own WordPress website. Now, before we dive in and take a look at the plugin, let's actually look at what you're going to get with this. So there's two basic form types that you'll get that you can add to any page or post on your site. So the first form type that you get with this plugin is the checkout button, and that's simply a button that you can add to any post or page anywhere you want on your site. That when a user clicks it will trigger a secure checkout form that they can add credit card information to. So you can actually see an example of that right here. So if we click the Buy Now button on this page, you can see that triggers the WP Stripe Payments form where you can actually buy the plugin right here. So that's the first form type that you get with this plugin. It's super simple. A user can enter their email address, their credit card information, and then they can submit the form to buy your products. And if you want, you can add more details to this, like shipping information, billing information. Very easy to add to and customize within the plugin. And actually, before we jump into the other form type, I thought it'd be cool to show you guys an example of another website that I was looking at that is using the Stripe button checkout. So this isn't with our plugin, this is a custom built website, but this is Nomad List, really cool website. And you can see right here that there's a big join button right at the top of the page. So this is actually using the Stripe checkout overlay. So if I click this button to become a member, you can see there's a pop-up now that I can add my information to, and then that'll lead to the basic Stripe checkout form like the one we were just looking at. If we go back here, we can see the next form type that you get with this plugin, if we scroll down a little bit, is an actual on-the-page form. So you can see basic checkout form, users can enter their email address, credit card information, expiration, security code, and submit payment. And it's that simple to use. So pretty straightforward. And those are the two basic form types that you get with this plugin. Now, within those two form types, there's a lot of customization with what you can do. And one example of this is with the on-the-page checkout forms, you can actually create this form with a custom payment amount. And by that I mean if you want to create a form where users can donate to your site or pay what they want, or if you're a freelancer or consultant and you talk with a client and you have them agree to a specific price and then you tell them to go to your website to pay you, they can enter that amount right here. So it would be an adjustable input field where they can enter the payment amount. So you can do a bunch of cool customization like that with these forms. Okay, so now let's take a look at how this all works. So I'm going to go to a different website, and you can see I actually already have the plugin installed here. And all you have to do is add this the same basic way you'd add any other plugin in your WordPress site. So, go to plugins, add new, add the zip file, activate it, and you're good to go. So once you do that, you'll see a new Stripe settings panel in your dashboard. If we open that up, we can see the settings that we have in front of us now. So there's really only two things you need to do to get started using this plugin in your site. The first is to add the API keys from your Stripe account into the plugin. So you can see there's 4 API keys, very simple to find in your Stripe dashboard. And again, it's totally free to create a Stripe account. It takes no time at all. And then the other major thing is just choosing whether you want to do test mode or live mode. So if we uncheck this, that'll actually put the form into live mode, which means we can accept real credit card payments. In test mode, you can actually test payments to make sure everything is functioning properly. And it's really easy to test things and see the result in your Stripe dashboard. Make sure everything's working properly before you set your forms live and open up shop. So let's really quickly go over to the Stripe dashboard at stripe.com and just take a look at this. So you can see here's Stripe's website, and if you don't have an account, it's really easy to sign up. It only takes a minute. I already have an account, so I'm just going to open my dashboard. Okay, so you can see we're in the Stripe dashboard, and all you have to do once you create your account is go to account settings, and inside account settings you'll go to API keys, And right there you'll find your 4 main API keys, and you'll just want to add the corresponding API key from each line into the Stripe settings section in your WordPress website. And it's really just that simple to do, right? So you'll add those in and you're all set up and good to go. So once you connect that and activate your Stripe account, you are good to start accepting payments through your website. Okay, so now that we have this all set up, let's take a look at how you would add these forms to the pages of your WordPress website. So I'm going to go to a blank page. And you can see, I have a visual editor on the front, so this might look a little different from the text editor on your WordPress website. But I assure you I'm in WordPress and we are just basically editing a text box in a page right now. So I'm just going to add the Stripe button shortcode to this page. So all I have to do is add brackets and Stripe button, and that will actually add the basic Stripe button into my site. So if I wanted to, I could just add amount and set the payment amount. So the amount that it'll charge to the person when they add their credit card information and submit the payment. And Stripe does this in cents. So if I wanted to charge $5, I would actually put 500 in the amount section in the shortcode, right? So this is the bare minimum of what you need to set up to start accepting payments with this shortcode. So if we save that, and then we open this in a new page, and just like that, we've created our first checkout form with Stripe. So now a user can click that button. So now I can add my email and credit card information and submit a payment. And you can see we're in test mode, so this won't actually charge my credit card. This is just a basic test to make sure that the form is working. And once we submit this from our site, this will show up in the Stripe dashboard with the basic information of our customer and the payment. So if I wanted to, I could add, fake email at website.com, and then we could add a test number from Stripe's test numbers in their documentation. There's a ton of different test numbers. It's very easy to just grab a fake credit card number to test your forms out. And then we can submit this checkout form. And just like that, you can see we've submitted our first test payment with our Stripe plugin installed. Granted, that was in test mode, but all you'd have to do is the same thing, but make sure everything is in live mode before you start accepting real credit card payments through your WordPress website. It's that simple to get started. So let's go back and let's look at a few customizations that we could do to this form. So again, we have our basic Stripe button shortcode, and there's a bunch of things that we can do to customize this further. We could add a name that we want to show up on the form. So we could do name equals widgets are us. We could add a basic description on the form. So we can make it say, buy all these widgets. And if we want, we can add shipping address and set that to true to make sure that it forces the user to enter shipping info. So if you want to use this to sell physical products, you can totally do that, and you can get users shipping information, and this will all import directly to your Stripe dashboard. So really easy to set up a shop for anything that you're trying to sell. So make that true. And now let's see what happens when we again try to open that form. So you can see we have the same form, but now there's a bunch of new information on it. So you can see widgets RS and buy all these widgets. So that's the name and description fields that we added in the shortcode. And now you can see there's a whole new section where users can submit their billing and shipping information. So now instead of the basic email and credit card info, we have email, and then we have, the shipping and billing info. And then when you click payment info, that'll redirect you to the same window with the credit card information. So again, you have full control to customize this form and do a bunch of really cool things with it. Very easy to get started, very easy to use, and you can sell practically anything with this. Okay, so now let's go back and let's look at how easy it is to actually switch this from the Stripe button to something a little different. So right now it's worth pointing out that Stripe by default gives you a button that looks like that. But using this plugin, you can actually go a little bit further and customize it by simply adding custom Stripe button for the shortcode. And by default, that'll automatically pull in the basic settings you have for button colors on your website. But it's very easy to grab the class and customize that CSS. We're going to have all of that information in the documentation where you can dig into that and see all of the different things you can do to play around with this. Let's look at some other options too though. So if we want to use that cool on the page form instead of the click triggered button, all we'd have to do is add Stripe form for the shortcode. And now you can see we have our Stripe form on the page, And you can see the payment amount is $5 because we've set the amount in the shortcode to 500 cents, which will transition to $5 US. If we want to change that to $50, we can do that, and you'll see that'll actually adjust on the payment amount in the form. So very simple, minimal checkout forms and totally customizable. Really cool, and again, you can use this anywhere on any page or post in your website. We can also create subscription payments with this by simply adding subscription equals true, and then pulling the plan ID from our Stripe account that we create and adding plan equals, and then just adding the name of the plan right there. And just like that, you can create recurring payments for clients or monthly subscription products, whatever you want to do. So again, super customizable for whatever you're trying to sell through your WordPress website. So that's just a quick glance at how easy it is to get set up with this plugin and start accepting payments through your WordPress website. So we have more documentation set up for this on our site at diggable.co/stripe. You can learn more there. You can download the plugin. There's a free version and a pro version. It's all super easy to use and get started with. But I hope this gives you a nice little intro into how you can start accepting credit card payments through your own WordPress website using Stripe and our WP Stripe Payments plugin.